I don't say it to say that. I say it to say poverty creates creativity. You're laughing because you're probably thinking about it.
No.
Do that for my cover like a black to hang on my head. Break it down, what's your head? Break it down, what's your head? Break it down, what's your head? Break it down, what's your head?
Yeah. What's going on, my bro?
I'm good for telling you, my guy.
I'm blessed.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Out here with another one. Out here with the Jester.
And Groupie Roops.
Alright, for another episode of
Whilst You're Here.
So today, it's a sick topic, bro. Why did you choose this topic, man?
What, Snakes and Ladders?
Yeah, bro.
It's a game, man. But it's a game about life. It's a game about how you're not in control of the board. You roll the dice, whatever lands, you have to take it and make it work for yourself.
I hear you, man.
Yeah.
And obviously, in the classical Whilst You're Here style, it's a situation whereby Snakes and Ladders, we're going to use this as an analogy to explore philosophy, psychology, and everything that we stand for.
Mm-hmm.
The mad thing is, broski, like, whilst doing some research, I realized that this game was actually a lot more philosophical and spiritual than I actually thought. So this is one of the reasons why it's actually good to look deep into anything.
Yeah.
You know, something as simple as Snakes and Ladders, like, understand. Because in the beginning, we were looking at the topic and we're like, bro, this is like, maybe not as a, you know, comprehensive topic.
Yeah, it wasn't as in depth. There wasn't so much to take from it. But then when you actually unpacked it, like, there's so many levels to it. Like, for an example, how you react to the highs and lows, climbing the ladders, getting eaten by the snake. What's your mindset? Some people, once you roll that dice, they go on the snake. They find it hard to come back up.
Yeah. But even way before we go there, let's give them a proper breakdown of the history of the actual game.
Okay.
So when I did some research, I actually found out that game was invented in India. So that game, not to your surprise, obviously got brought back to the UK after colonization. That's when they changed, you know, certain man don't create stuff and then man they only take stuff and then reinvent it. That's a different topic for the other day. But it came from India and it was called, let me see what it's called again.
I'm sorry.
Drake. Bro, it's crazy because the game it's actually from a Hindu philosophy, bro. And it's basically focusing on karma, on moksha, and it's actually called Moksha Patam. Obviously, I'm probably not pronouncing it properly, but imagine it has a whole different name from Snakes and Ladders. And in that original game, from what I understood, is there was actually more snakes than ladders. Yeah, because it was actually representing the fact that it's actually harder in life to live a righteous, good life than opportunities that you get and blessings that you get in life, in terms of the perspective that they had from a Hindu perspective in terms of living a righteous life, because you have all these challenges, you have things like lust and all these sins and all these attractions in life that will take you away from living a righteous life. Because the game actually symbolized, in Hinduism, it symbolized the circle of life. And obviously, in their belief, you have reincarnation. And to be able to escape, asceticism, to basically escape that circle and to enter eternity, is true living a righteous life. So the Snakes and Ladders game, having more snakes in it, obviously you have more chances of keeping on going back down. You wouldn't win the game as frequently as we win the game playing Snakes and Ladders, fam.
When you talk about righteous life here, how do you define what is righteous? Because somebody's righteous could be messed up. So
in this game, every snake represented a different vice. So a snake could be lust, anger, greed, pride, violence.
Okay.
So in their mindset, to live a righteous life is not succumbing to these vices.
I like that.
Living a stoic lifestyle, in their terminology, it's not called stoic, it's more asceticism, where you're like basically trying to elevate your life away from sins, away from distractions, away, abstaining, fasting, praying, mindfulness, meditation. So focusing on staying away from the worldly attractions. That is what would be destined as a righteous lifestyle. So the point of the game is basically it's a spiritual game whereby if you won that game in a sense, is a karmic effect of the life that you've lived.
You know what's so crazy? I think I had a conversation with you in regards that, remember in regards to a certain amount of funds, and then you asked me a question. I was like, bro, even though, yeah, I could, it is not mine. You don't take what is not yours, even though I can. You know what I'm saying? And that's the righteous lifestyle that I want to be. And that's part of not being greedy. And that's why I remember when I told you, why if I look back at my life, even though, yeah, certain things was hard, I can look back and say it was easy because I know my type of hard would be financially. That would be my trip, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that I don't take what is not mine, even though I could, or XYZ, I don't even want to say I could even delusionally, I wouldn't even say delusionally. I could say, yeah, that's mine. I put in the time, the effort, and XYZ. Yeah, there was a bit of assistance, but I'd be like, nah, we can divide it in the middle, boom. So.
No, it's a valid point, bro. And prior to this year, obviously, every year we have a topic in terms of what kind of mindset we want to have. And that year that you brought up the topic of being righteous, it really challenged my perception of self to actually actively and consciously think about if my acts were actually righteous according to my norms and values from.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a situation whereby you can give personal examples, but it will always force me, even when I've done things, and even in my life right now, I can give examples of this week or this month where I do certain things and I say to myself, look, I shouldn't have done that, man. I know that I shouldn't have done that. I know I could have dealt with the situation better, and I reflect about it and I'm like, do you know what? I need to actively do something better about this. So bearing in mind, I don't know if, obviously, we've never played the original game. I don't know if that game is meant to help you to reflect on those things. But I can imagine that being actually a very useful tool to actually reflect on it, especially if, like I said, every snake is a different vice. So it's actually symbolizing the errors that we've had, because you've said, or the issues or the complications that we have, because you were expressing financial situations. Financial situations has been vice of mine, but not as much, if I'm being honest. In the earlier ages of my life, it was like lust. So dealing with the lustful experiences, mindsets and stuff like that, like when you're so deep into that sin that you're experiencing, it's really hard to objectively look at it and want to challenge it, because it's become a part of your lifestyle, it's become a part of your norms and values. So to actually be able to look at something and have a tool to reflect on it, like a game that will actually make you actively think about your karmic decisions, it's actually a mad thing, fam. Because when you think about it, how many times in a day do you stand still to actually reflect on your norms and values, be ready to throw them away completely because of the fact that they're not righteous?
Damn. I think you had me at how many times a day do you think about your norms and values? But to add, to throw them away completely as well, bro. That's a mad one.
It's a mad thing, bro. And I was talking to the man about it. More times the reason why you wouldn't do that is because the ego is in the way. And the ego, what is the ego? The ego has an idea, has a self-identity. So to have a self-identity, you have to cling on to something. You have to have some kind of concept that you believe. That's why people are believers when they're religious. They believe in something. Like to one day wake up and throw everything that you knew and say, oh, maybe all of it was invalid, and adopt a new complete mindset. It's crazy, bro.
Like, how do you adopt a new mindset? Because that now it's like you need to understand that adopting a new mindset is a process. It doesn't just come. You have to keep fighting the urge to not go back and revert back to type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
And that comes with what we're talking about outside of this conversation about the awareness. You need to catch yourself. Like that's what I think this game was aimed to do. Like I can imagine, but like I already get annoyed playing snakes and ladders, the normal game. Like there'll be times you're all the way close, there'll be that big snake close to the end, take you all the way to the bottom, and then you're looking at somebody else rising, and then you're thinking, what is this guy like? And then you're almost wishing downfall for them.
You know what? That's true. You are wishing downfall.
You're wishing their downfall, man.
Like you're gonna fall down that same snake.
Get two, get three, go down, this and that. And then the mad thing is, because all our lives are so individually different, like even just thinking about, because this is actually the first topic that I wanted to talk about is the game luck. Because obviously, according to the original game with more snakes in it and how it was meant to represent, you know, the karmic cycle of rebirth and escaping that into asceticism, it's a scenario whereby if you actually won that game, they didn't think it's luck, it's karmic. The numbers on the dice that you threw, you deserve those numbers in a sense. You know what I mean? So a lot of times when we play snakes and ladders, a lot of people, they don't care about the outcome because they don't believe it is something that you can force to happen. It's just, you just throw it, you just got any number. It's like, you know the game Ludo that my parents always play? That is the first thing that showed me actual manifestation from. Because my parents would play it, they'll roll the dice and they'll say 6-2, zoom, 6 and 2. I'm thinking, what the hell? And I'll be trying the African accent, I'll be trying to manipulate it, 6-2, throw it, thinking I'm gonna get the same result. Nothing happens. My mom goes again, 6-5, boom, and chops one of my pawns. I'm thinking, rah, how is she creating these numbers, fam? And then, you know what I mean? Like, fam, she's saying them and they're just coming out. And I'm thinking, nah, bro. And then when I start playing the game more often, I start doing the same thing, fam. So saying to myself, nah, bro, I'm going to manifest the number, fam. So I don't think, personally, even when I play snakes and ladders, the competitiveness in me manifests certain numbers, fam. I'm not just out there throwing and saying, whatever happens, happens. Nah, fam. I'm trying to create the numbers that I want to have, fam, to go all the way to the top. So what do you think, bro?
Well, I think it's so funny because whilst he was telling me that story and they were manifesting the 6-2, I was thinking about my uncle when we were playing dominoes. And and he's losing. We drink to play, like whoever loses is drinking some big chug of water. Once you drink that once, you ain't trying to drink it again. You know what I'm saying? Water, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a big thing. You think it's... I don't know what you're thinking.
I think water is punishment. I'm thinking that's crazy. That's nutrition, bro.
Nah. But you drink that once, cool, you firm it. A second time, you ain't trying to drink that. A third time, you're done. Anyway, so, like, he's losing. Next minute, he's like... He starts humming the gospel. Next minute, bah! He slaps something on the table. I was like, what's this? He won the game. He had won, never said nothing. I was like, what's going on? Anyway, every time from that built momentum, manifestation, the singing, the humming, you know what I'm saying? So it's just similar to that. Different because your parents had to say 6-2 and actually get 6-2.
Yeah.
But similar because he was on a losing streak. And you know when you're not with that momentum, it's so easy for you to be like, alright, I'm gonna have to accept this, what's going on here? But he's like, he brought God upon his side.
He called on the karmic energy that he's put in the sky, fam. All the good deed points that I got. Like if I got 10 points in the back, I need 3-4 of them right now in this game.
Yeah, but yeah, man.
And the thing is, look, Ludo or even dominoes still has an element of strategy in it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, with dominoes, like you might have like, you know, you have the 2 blanks.
Yeah.
And then you have maybe like the 2-6 or 2-5. You think about when you want to play that or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're kind of affecting your odds of winning based on how you play those ones. So there is some level of gameplay. But when it comes to snakes and ladders, apart from the way you throw the dice,
and even then, bro,
you know what I mean? Like apart from how you throw the dice, bro,
yeah,
you're not influencing any other part of the game, fam. And for the originators of that game to believe that you can actually influence the game based on the life that you live outside of the game shows you how important spirituality is. Because that's the next topic that I'm going to go in, because a lot of times people believe spirituality is a thing that, you know, you only access within certain spaces. You know, if you go to church, if you go to XYZ mosque, whatever. But for them to play a game and realize that the actions that they are having outside of life has a karmic consequence to the game that they're playing, shows you the spiritual awareness of people that were playing that game, or the people who created that game from.
Bruh. Because I wouldn't have even thought that. I thought it would just be based on your belief, your firm belief, like, no, you rebuke losing the game. But for you to bring it to say it's your karmic thing that is going to come back in you, so you win the game, that's mad.
That's mad, fam. And that's what I'm saying. This is the reason why this is the whole purpose of whilst you're here. It's like, I would have thought it was what you're saying. I would have thought the game was just trying to manifest certain numbers and manifest your luck and creating it. Whereas obviously I think it still has an effect on it. But the creators of the game, they were relying on the energy that you've already put out as a consequence. And sometimes I don't know how to say it. Like, you know when you feel like sometimes it's just someone's day. You know what I mean? Like, you go somewhere, like the other day when I was in Hollywood for one of my boys' birthday, we went bowling there, and it was just one of my guys' day, fam. Doesn't matter what he did, fam. He was just hitting it. And you know what's so crazy about it, fam? He has had such a rough time, fam. The last few months was so rough. He had such a rough time, and then he just started catching W's, and his mindset was so positive. So when he was even winning that game, in my head I was like, he deserves it, fam. Nobody was in contention or on an argument with the fact that he won, because everybody knew that day, like, it's his day, fam. So that's the aura that they are talking about. But it being your day is not based on a short frame of time. It's your whole life and how you've lived and the decisions that you've made leading up to playing the game that will reflect itself as a console, presenting your life like, actually, like, it's displaying your karmic energy on the board, fam. That's mad, fam.
That is mad.
The fact that these people were so focused on spirituality, so focused on, like, you know, like the sins, the struggles that humans have. It's a mad thing where we don't think about the fact that, you know, they were also aware of, like, the discipline that it takes to actually live a righteous life. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It to you know that word asceticism, to actually attain that level where you feel like, you know, when I play this game, man's just gonna rise to the top, even though there's bare snakes. Like, you need to actually know that you're being righteous, from. And I feel like that's something deep. That's something that we need to actually aspire to as humans, from. We need to actually aspire to, like, to our own best knowledge, be the best type of people that we can be, from. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my takeaway from that. And then linking it now to, obviously, psychology and linking it to human behavior. It's like, anytime you choose self-discipline over indulgence, it's like you're climbing the ladder, fam. You know? Every time you're choosing, like, that's why when we were talking earlier on privately, when I was talking about when you make messed up decisions, one of my boys said a very sick saying. He said something about, if you're on the wrong train, it's best to come out the next stop.
So simple.
Why are you gonna keep going to the train, broski?
You're gonna make the journey back longer.
You know there was, fam, like, and I've had that kind of, you know, when sometimes you're doubting, like, is this the right train? And you're doubting, you're still staying in the train, but you actually really don't know that this was the wrong train, fam. If in your life you realize it, fam, you're in the wrong train, fam, best to just come off the next stop, fam. You know what I mean? So that you can take that step on the ladder, fam. You know what I mean? Like, just making decisions, positive decisions. Like, whoever you, like, anything that you are, like, your body is a reflection of the the dietary decisions you've made over the last few months. Your bank account is a reflection of the financial decisions you've made over the last few months. Your mental health is a reflection of the decisions of your discipline and your fortitude, resilience that you've been practicing for the last few months. So, in this game of life where we can relate it to snakes and ladders, catching L's, making negative decisions is you stomping on the ladders, fam. But we can actually make decisions to step on the ladder, you know what I mean? So that's kind of an analogy that I feel like is an interesting one because, you know, a lot of times when we make a mistake, we feel that aspect of a punishment and a failure, fam. Even within that game, I know when I play that game and I'm close to the top and I hit a snake, it feels so annoying, fam.
It's demoralizing, isn't it?
Demoralizing, bro.
Yeah. Do you not feel like snakes and ladders also replicates a reward system? Like going up the ladder, you gain confidence, you gain this, you gain that. Going down the ladders, you feel, just like you said, sadness, shame, you know, all these negative thoughts. That's it, playing the game.
Because it's part of the decision making, like you know that. Like when you've gone to the gym, even though you don't want to go to the gym, once you've gone to the gym like 3 or 4 times a week, you feel good, you feel confident, you feel happy, you feel excited. When you start lacking, you start feeling uncomfortable about yourself. You start feeling, oh, what is this in my body? What is that? It's exactly that, fam.
That glow is gone. You know?
Man. Them 6-pack, them abs, them ambitions.
God.
You know that you are lacking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a situation whereby, like, you know, it's really important to kind of focus on the goals that you have. And like I said, our goal is to just be righteous, fam. And taking it back now to a bit more of the history and the cultural aspect of the game.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about? Like, did you know that the game was originally Indian, bro?
Nah, bro. I didn't even know that it had a different name. I should have assumed so because like everything was taken like Ludo. It's probably not called Ludo.
Definitely not, bro. I'm sure not.
I know that Indians actually make quite a few different games because there's this game here where Karakam or something.
Yo, the one where you...
Yeah. That's another good game, bro.
That game looks mad, fam.
Yeah, it's a good game, bro.
Like, I don't know why, I have a feeling like that game came before pool or something like that, or maybe it has something to do with
something like
pool
that, yeah, bro. And that game came from poverty.
But then again, that's an assumption. That's an assumption because we've been branded this bias that India is just poor, fam.
No. I don't say it to say that. I say it to say poverty creates creativity. You're laughing because you're probably thinking about it.
No, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because it's a thing where, like, the way you said it is as if there is no way for creativity to come out of abundance.
Yes, but the way that I'm thinking about it, when money is not like the thing, you go out there with freedom. You go out there. I'm not just trying to talk about India. I remember when I was just living in St. Lucia, that you got the fruits just there. You go pick that whatever. But when it came to playing, best believe, like these guys had go-karts just going down the hill, created themselves. They had a wheel with a stick where they control the stick.
Yeah, but I don't think that game, because that game has like a big board, fam. And I think like you would go to like a person, if somebody had that board in their house, I think that person is making bread. So I don't think like a normal person, like a pool table. If somebody has a pool table in their house,
bro, the game probably developed, but the origins of the concept probably started from somewhere.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just challenging the idea that somewhere has to be poor. It could.
You're right.
It could be anywhere, you know. It could be whoever it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
but I think the reason why I say the poorness is because you know when you're not overly consumed by everything like we are with digitals and stuff like that, you have the space to just think, be free in your mind and stuff like that. So yeah.
And the reason why I was now talking about the whole it coming from English colonizers when they brought it to the UK and they started calling it snakes and ladders. The reason why that's important is because one of the things that they did is they made the snakes and the ladders equal number.
Okay.
And that took away the spiritual element that the game was originally made to represent.
I didn't even realize that. they made it even number distance between it, or
No, they made it so, let's say like you have 12 snakes, you have 12 ladders. As remember I told you before, there was more snakes to represent the challenges in life, the sins and everything but they changed that aspect. They changed it to have the same level of snakes and ladders. And then Americans, they even changed it later on. They changed it to chutes and ladders, where you have like, you know, those like tunnels instead of snakes to make it more child friendly. And now it's just known as like some child friendly game, something or some kids game. Whereas that's actually some spiritual thing. The reason why that's so important to mention that is because a lot of times when colonizers have taken things and brought it, they have changed the actual meaning. They've changed a lot of the spiritual aspect elements of the things that they're bringing across or that they're transforming. And I don't even think it is always conscious, but a lot of times it is. A lot of times it is.
That's a fair point.
A lot of times it is. Things like the Bible, when it's been broadcast, Caesar, the way he's changed it, the Romans, how they influenced the Christianity, bringing in paganism. A lot of things, as soon as they've been contacted by colonizers, it changes the spiritual value of the thing. And the reason why I think a lot of times it's a conscious thing is because they, like, people in the highest positions of powers are manipulating the highest source of spirituality and want people to be deaf to it. They do not want you to tap into spirituality on a day-to-day thing. Go to church on a Sunday and tap spirituality there. It will just give you that. Not on an everyday thing. For you to be playing a game that is tapping you in such a high level of consciousness that you have to be reflecting about your relationship with lust, with all these other kind of difficult things as a game, fam. And now we've gotten to the point where we're using our phones every day. We're getting overstimulated by all these dumb conversations, all these, all these stimulating situations that's tapping us out from spirituality. It's a conscious thing.
We're getting attacked.
Yeah. It's a spiritual attack, fam.
Food, watching, financially. We're getting attacked, divided. So...
Yeah, man. It's literally like I've said this before, like your spirituality you're meant to be practicing it on a non-stop basis. You're meant to be logged into the spiritual realm more than in the physical. Because when you think about it, me speaking now, my consciousness, my awareness, my intelligence, all of that is not something that you can physically. It's not tangible. So if it's not tangible, it's almost like my spirit is speaking in manifestation of my physical body. It just needs the body to be able to speak. But then why am I then focusing more on what my body and XYZ is exuding rather than what is inside that's operating the body, fam? So you're meant to be in the spirit all the time. When you're out of the spirit, that's when you're more susceptible to distraction, susceptible to sin, susceptible to all these type of spiritual attacks that are out there, fam. And this is the importance of research. Like just a simple game as snakes and ladders, for it to be changed, just for you to change the number of snakes and thing, for it to have such a dramatic impact on what the game was originally created to do, shows you how small of tweaks people can make in life to completely derail us spiritually, fam.
Number one of the ones up there that derails us spiritually is unfortunately the 9 to 5, bro. It just takes up so much time. Now you're plugged into the system. You forget how to. You're not able to see your vision clearly. Compared to, I was speaking to some guy today, and he does a lot of recording. I'm not gonna say too much because I don't want to bait him out yet, but he came from a different life where he was doing, it was recording videos, directing, making adverts and stuff like that, and just doing exactly what he wants, how he wants, freely, to now where he comes into the workplace and he's doing the 9 to 5, not because he has to, just because he's like, he wanted to get a mortgage in XYZ and he needed the banks kind of value that more than when you're self-employed, XYZ. Anyway, And then it made me start thinking, right, imagine taking that and putting that in there. But then he's still free. Like, he is, because he's seen how to live free and stuff like that, you know, if that makes sense, compared to someone that's been stuck in the 9 to 5. How do you still keep your creativity?
Yeah. That's one of the hardest things, bro.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things. Like, a lot of times I've seen where if you still want to be that creatively active, sometimes it comes at an expense of the 9 to 5, because the 9 to 5 is never really just 9 to 5. You know, if you want to push ahead, if you want to get a promotion, if you want to look good in your manager, you need to go to that work event. You need to have that conversation, that coffee, that chat, that lunch, that whatever extracurricular thing that goes into your private time where you should be being creative. You know what I mean? So it's a scenario where it's just a very difficult balancing game, bro. But at the same time, once again, it starts with the awareness. Being aware of the fact that, okay, I'm not being creative, so let me force the creativeness today. Let me, creativity today. Let me do something actively. Because at the end of the day, just like snakes and ladders, in life, we're just all chasing the ladder, fam. We're just all chasing the mortgage, the car, the crib, the this, the holiday, the ring, the marriage, da. By the time you end up chasing, the whole journey is gone. The whole journey is gone, fam. But actually, those periods in between it, when we're meant to be elevating ourselves spiritually, becoming great human beings, affecting our environment positively, when we're meant to be doing all of that, we've just been chasing ladders, broski. So it's a situation whereby, like, just like what happened to the game where it became less spiritual, and when you play the game now, all you're focusing on is like jumping on the next ladder. That's what life has become for us, man. We're not spiritually inclined. We're not reflecting about anything in any junction. All we're doing is, and like I said to you, we've gotten to the point where in the game, we start actually wishing for people's downfall. Happy that we're on top of other people. Worried when other people are on top. I know, but I feel worried, fam. When somebody is like on the top floor and I've somehow gone down, I feel worried that I can't catch up. Is that not what happens with social media? You'll be looking at your age mates, buying whips, buying this, buying that. You're thinking, well, how can I catch up? All of that is because there was a lack of spirituality. I feel like if you played the original game, you wouldn't even be worried about, like, I would be gassed if you finished. Because if finishing means that from a karmic standpoint, you are elevating yourself, I would be gassed for you, fam. Do you get what I mean? And maybe that's, I don't know how them man used to play the game, but maybe that's how them man actually used to play the game. Maybe by playing the game, it's not really even about who finishes first. It's about looking at what your karmic energy is saying about your current state and reflecting about the snake that caught you.
Reflecting about the snake that caught you is the one.
Because every snake was representing a different sin. So maybe it's about reflecting and seeing, damn, maybe my karmic energy is telling me, yo, I need to be focusing on XYZ. I need to be focusing on boom, boom, boom. To where the game has turned into just, I just want to win. I just want to come out first. I want to jump the ladder. Literally the same reflection of what's happening in actual reality, fam.
Yeah, man. You know why that hit me? Because when you hit that snake, it exposes what you are when you lose. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that hit me. Yeah,
bro. And that's why, like I said to you, in the original game, it's not about that feeling of suffering, that feeling of sadness that you get when you're getting caught by the snakes. It's about the awareness, from the awareness that is forcing you into to actually deeply think, because that was the purpose of this podcast, fam. The purpose of the podcast is that at least if you're just listening to us whilst you're here with us joining this convo, even if you only use this time in your day to think about these deep things, you're already on your way to asceticism. Because you have done more than you would have done if you wasn't doing it. And that is the reason why maybe they would have developed that game in that period of time. Because the technology, they probably didn't have no phones and them things there. These were the phones, these were the portals. So you're meant to be using all these technologies, all these stuff to access the spiritual realm, to access God, to access the source, to get closer, fam.
Mm-hmm.
That should be the purpose, fam. So whilst you're here with us today, the main purpose is thinking about, reflecting about these topics and thinking, what are the snakes in your life?
Yes.
What are the things, what are the themes, what are the sins, what are the you know, the negative or the attractions away from the spiritual realm in your life.
Mm-hmm. Identify, basically.
Identifying them.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my boys, he's a DJ, and I'm not gonna bait anything out about his life, but DJ, and he's always lived a very righteous life.
Mm-hmm.
Before he went into his DJing, everything righteous, the DJing took him away from from all of that, not being in touch with his spiritual, with his religion and everything. But it brought him a lot of fame, a lot of notoriety, a lot of money, and also a job. It's easily to justify continuing the DJing because it pays, and you need a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then recently he said he wants to quit the DJing because he realized that the DJing is taking him away from God, fam.
Mm-hmm.
The lifestyle is taking him away from God, fam.
Mm-hmm.
And I really rate that, regardless of my view of religion, I really rate the fact that he is identified, the awareness it takes to, within the midst of snakes, to realize that this is not where I should be from. I should be focusing on getting out of this circle, fam, of going up and down, up and down. I should be focusing on upward trajectory, fam.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that should really and truly be our focus, fam. Mm-hmm. Our focus, like one of my boys asked me on the weekend, what is my goal? I said, what is the goal? My goal is to get close to God. And then he kept on saying, yeah, but, as if that is not, suffice. That's the mission. The journey, there's so much to learn. Then I eventually said to him, it's to learn. The reason why I say it is to learn is because I realized there's so much things to learn, because the actual route to God is such an abundant experience. Regardless of how much you learn, you never learn the one route straight to him, fam. It's about trying your best in your own capacity to truly seek him and to attain him, fam. Him or her, whatever you want to view it. It's not about it being him or her. It's about attaining it, the social consciousness. And then even if you bring it back to anime, or even if you think about it from a philosophical standpoint, Stoicism practices that. You know what I mean? Focusing on not being distracted by all these aspects, by all these spirits. Buddhism, Sufism, and even in anime, fam. Mm-hmm. You see a lot of certain anime characters. You see them going through a character development. If you think about, for example, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Zuko, man was vexed, fam. His snake was angry, fam. Anger, fam.
I'm glad you brought up those kind of characters, because those are the characters that normally eventually lose because of the flaw.
Yeah, fam. Because who lost because of the flaw was his sister, fam. His sister was more powerful. She had all lightning, XYZ power and all of that. But she could not get rid of her snake, fam. Mm. The snake actually made her go insane. I remember when she just lost all her confidence, her mind and everything. But Zuko realized, obviously his uncle was there. And then that's another topic for season 2 in terms of mentorship. Because he needed a mentor, fam. That uncle was an OG mentor, fam. He's definitely going into the conversations of mentorships. But he knew that he had to deal with the anger, fam. Moses, same thing. Anger is the only thing that was the reason he didn't make it to the promised land, fam. And Moses' anger, I fully hear it, fam. My man was walking up with the desert, 40 days, 40 nights, XYZ, pushing all these Israelites, trying to help them come out of Egypt, all of them things there. He told them, yo, you man, chill here for a second. God is chatting to me. He's telling me, yo, pick up the FaceTime. I'm just going to go check reception up top of the mountain. Man goes up the top of the mountain to collect the FaceTime. God is sending the airdrop, gave him the 10 commandment airdrop. He's just waiting for it to download all of that stuff. Comes down and he sees them man there doing a mad thing, fam. Partying, He was vexed, thinking, why go for these man, fam? I told that man, chill. Just wait for a second. I would have been vexed, fam. To lead people through a wilderness. Like, sometimes when the Bible says some things, it gives me a very good imagination of what it means, because people think wilderness and they just only imagine a wilderness. I'm thinking about it from a philosophical standpoint. Imagine a psychological wilderness and navigating somebody through that. That's why being a psychological practitioner to me is so crazy, because you're speaking to people and you can tell that they are lost. In their mind, they're in a wilderness. And you have to try to help them navigate them out of the wilderness into reality. That wilderness that was described in the Bible, to me, is not just wilderness of physical environment. It's about your mind. Them man were in a wilderness mindset, fam. Just going up the ladder, down the snake, up the ladder, down the snake, up the ladder, down the snake. If your life is like that, fam, you need to be reflecting, what is my vice? What is my snake, fam? What is the thing that I need to attack right now that is going to allow me just to keep climbing ladders, fam, throwing the right numbers, getting that karmic, that karmic energy to keep on giving me the right numbers, fam. Why can it not be my day every day? Why can I not always keep throwing strikes?
You have to be active to do that. Actively focusing to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So it's a situation where, like, this whole, like, thinking about this whole snakes and ladder concept really, really pushed me into some of the deepest reflections from, like, it just shows me that every decision you make, every action, is literally a throw of the dice.
Mm.
And sometimes people believe, people who don't take accountability of their action, they believe like the decision, it wasn't like in their control. It was just that, they had to do this, I had to fight, I had to struggle, I had to steal, I had to rob, I had to kill, I had to whatever version of it is, fam.
It wasn't my intention.
It wasn't my intention.
Mm.
I'm sorry, XYZ. Everything is a decision, it's a throw of the dice, fam. We need to now be thinking and be realizing that we can actually influence the digits of the dice with manifestation, with good karma, with positive aura, with energy. We can actually throw that 6-2, fam. That's when I tapped in, when I realized that with my parents, and I was like, fam, I can create the numbers that come through the dice, fam. I think you saw me play my mom last time, innit?
Yeah.
The fact that I can beat her now in that game, to me, is something that I never thought could ever be possible. The way that she used to manifest it. And now it's just manifestation versus manifestation, fam.
Who's more powerful?
Who's more powerful? It's a spiritual exercise, fam.
Yeah. Very
We're doing spiritual gymnastics together, fam.
Yeah.
Like, maybe one of them episodes, you just need to show them, like, me and my mom, or like, it's not even just my mom thing, it's like loads of Nigerians that are watching this probably play Ludo. But if you're good at that game, it's a manifestation thing, fam.
Mm-hmm.
You've taken tactical decisions based on manifestation. Like, I'll put my pawn very close to hers and I say, she's not going to kill it, she's going to jump over it. She throws the dice, jumps over it. I'm like, you see, I told you. And now I'm going to throw a 1, it's going to take yours. 1, shoot, 1.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And this goes even crazier, because this is why people always think I'm making everything so deep. Monopoly, fam. They didn't invent that game, just a physical game, fam. It's a virtual reality. That game was created to help upper class children to think about the concept of ownership, asset development, property building, investment, business mindset, deals. All these things is teaching kids how to do it, fam. Negotiate, bro.
That one's a big one, because sometimes you might take the lower end just to win something, knowing that there's a bigger picture. Negotiation.
Bro, people think games are just games. You just play them as normal games.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst people who are getting the most out of this period of life that we're in are deep in that these games and all these things mean things. That's why when we use analogies like anime as games, as sports, and all these other things, is because we're looking at it from the spiritual standpoint. We're not just looking at it from a physical plane, fam. It's a mad game. Monopoly is a mad game, bro.
Bro, Monopoly, like I wouldn't say it's similar to Snakes and Ladders, but Monopoly for me is similar to chess, because it's a chess game. Capitalism, gaining, making your movements count.
Like, I hear you. I think all of these games are like so different, and they teach you so many different things. Like, the reason, to me, for example, checkers and chess is two completely different games. Teaches you two completely different things. Checkers is like a positional game, whereas and the reason why I like checkers as well is because people, when they play chess, a lot of times they're focused only on strategy, not on positioning. Positioning is about where you're putting yourself. You know, it's a form of strategy, but it's where you're putting yourself in advance, even when the strategy is not working. So it's different. And then same with Monopoly now. Monopoly, yeah, is about strategy and thinking as well, but all that negotiation aspect, you don't have that within chess. Because like when you, let's say you've bought like two streets, two streets, I think. There'll be street names. Two streets in the same color. Somebody might have the third one. That person might not even want that. Start negotiating. Well, I'll give you one blue, you give me that orange so I can build hotels. No, okay, how much do you want? 2 bills. No, I want 5 bills. Okay, give me 5 bills. Okay, I'll do it. That is a mad mindset, because it's showing you that money is a minor thing. Negotiating is a minor thing. All these things is deep. So with Snakes and Ladders, same way, like I can never play that game and just allow my kids to just play it on a cash thing. I'll be telling them, why do you think today your sister won? Why do you think that is? Why didn't you win? Why was it last week you got all ladders? This week you couldn't even make it to the second floor.
Bringing more meaning to everything that you do, because in life everything you do has meaning.
Yeah, fam.
So
yeah, fam.
That's it.
And then, bro, like one of the last reflections and takeaway is like, at the end of the day, bro, I don't think life is all just about getting to the top, fam. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting at the top, fam. Because even the people that we feel like are our subjective top, you know, whatever that is for you. If you're in finance, maybe it's one of the CTOs, whatever, C-suite. If you're in creative industries, you know, artists, rappers, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Whatever that top is, them people that are on that top, a lot of them, they're unhappy. A lot of them are depressed. A lot of them might not even stand firm behind the decisions, the dices that they've been throwing, the karmic energy that they've put in that's allowed them to get there. A lot of them have even had to sell those karmic energies to demonic and spiritual entities to sustain that top vibe, fam. I am never prepared to do that. I'm never prepared to sell on my norms and values. I'm never able to sell my spiritual aura energy to attain no level of top experience, top flight experience.
I'm okay,
fam. Because I've internalized that the top for me is asceticism, is getting to God. That is the top. That is the only righteous top that I should be aiming for, fam. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah.
That's the only ladder. Insert that clip. That is the only ladder man's trying to climb, fam. I'm not trying to climb no other ladders, fam.
Okay.
So that's kind of my takeaway from this topic, broski, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. I think I share the same no, I don't think. I know I share the same takeaway with you. Especially when you was talking about actively getting that 6, you know? Because you can always think about, oh yeah, I don't want to hit a 2. That's completely different. Because when you think about, I don't want to hit a 2, guess what you're going to hit? That 2. So you need to know exactly what you want and go for it positively. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. And I just want to add the God section, getting closer to the God. That is the best way to live life. Yeah? getting closer to God, because God gives you everything that you need and want. And once you start appreciating what God has given you, watch the abundance of more things coming to you. Yeah, love life, live life, go for it. You know, take the good with the bad. It's ups and downs. So, but then show appreciation and keep praying and be assertive with your prayer. Yeah, I will say you can ask, but I will tell him what I'm going to do. And I'll ask for him to be by my side whilst I'm going to do it. And that's how I communicate.
Yeah, man. Lovely, bro. That's really beautiful. And the last thing I would say is sometimes when you're catching L's and you're standing on a snake, maybe see it more as a mirror than seeing it as a punishment, fam. Maybe see it more as what is actually going on, fam. Like, what am I being told? What are my vices? What has actually brought me to catch this L, fam? You know what I mean? Like, instead of just feeling like, oh, I'm just being punished and it's evil spirits and this XYZ. I'm not saying that those things don't have influence, they do. But sometimes when you're catching L's, you might need to look at what is the area of my life that I've not developed? What's the area of life that, I need to focus on to reach that asceticism that's, it's not about pertinence. Pertinence is that feeling of like regret and guilt and that intense sorrow, but wanting to do something about it. Pertinence is good, but it's not just about that. It's about focusing, reflecting on the things that we've done negatively that is impacting our, ascension to the spiritual realm. So that's it for me, my guy.
And that's it for me, my bro.
Another great episode.
Yeah, man.
Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the hype button, hit the like button. Please do. And I'm really asking you guys seriously now this time. Please comment. We love these debates.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people DM me, a lot of people message me, a lot of people watch this and they send me a lot of great topics of conversation. And I want these topics to start in the comment section so that we can all reflect and we can have an open, dialogue.
Yeah.
So please comment, like, and
100%.
subscribe, my guys.
Yeah, like and subscribe, my guy.